Listen carefully. Kindness is a virtue, but when misplaced, it becomes a weapon used against you. When you extend kindness to a narcissist, you are not being noble. You are feeding a beast that thrives on your empathy. A narcissist does not see your kindness as a gift. They see it as a tool, one they can use to control, manipulate, and exploit you. They will take everything you offer and then blame you when it's not enough. They don't want to change. They want you to change into someone who tolerates their abuse without question. So ask yourself, why are you allowing someone to dictate your worth? Why do you believe that sacrificing your well-being for their approval is an act of love? It is not. It is submission to a false reality where your needs don't matter. The truth is this. You cannot heal someone who refuses to acknowledge their own wounds. You cannot love someone into being a better person if they are committed to their own selfishness. The moment you stop justifying their actions, the moment you stop making excuses for their behavior, you reclaim your power. This is not cruelty. This is self-respect. Walking away does not make you a bad person. It makes you a person who understands that their worth is not measured by how much suffering they can endure. If someone refuses to respect you, stop giving them access to your kindness. Let them face the consequences of their own actions. Let them experience life without the safety net of your patience, because here's the reality. If you continue to be kind to a narcissist, you are not helping them. You are enabling them, and you deserve better than that. Kindness without boundaries is self-destruction. You've been taught your entire life that kindness is a virtue, that turning the other cheek is a mark of strength, and that good people endure, forgive, and always find a way to give more. But what happens when your kindness is no longer an act of virtue, but a tool of your own suffering? What happens when your empathy becomes a leash in the hands of someone who has no intention of valuing it? That is the reality of being kind to a narcissist. A narcissist does not see kindness the way you do. They don't interpret your patience as compassion or your forgiveness as grace. They see it as permission. Every time you excuse their behavior, every time you overlook their manipulation, you teach them one thing, that they can get away with it. And not just get away with it, but do it again. They don't appreciate kindness. They exploit it. They view it as weakness, as something to use, not something to respect. But here's where it gets dangerous. The more you give, the more they expect. And the moment you start to pull back, the moment you attempt to set even the smallest boundary, they will turn against you. They will paint you as the villain, make you question your own reality, and do everything in their power to make you feel guilty for no longer allowing them to control you. And if you're not careful, you will fall right back into the cycle. Because a narcissist's greatest weapon is not their words, their anger, or their insults. It is their ability to manipulate your kindness against you. You will find yourself justifying their actions, convincing yourself that they don't mean to hurt you, that they just need more love, more patience, more understanding. But how many times have you told yourself that? How many times have you given them one more chance, only to watch them repeat the same behavior? The truth is, no amount of kindness will ever be enough for someone who believes they are entitled to it. You could sacrifice yourself completely, and they would still ask for more. At some point, you have to ask yourself, is this kindness or is this self-destruction? Because kindness is supposed to be a gift, something given freely with no expectation of return. But when you are giving and giving and giving, and all you receive in return is pain, exhaustion, and self-doubt, that is no longer kindness. That is self-betrayal. This is where boundaries come in, not as a form of punishment, not as an act of revenge, but as an act of revenge, but as an act of self-preservation. When you set a boundary with a narcissist, you are not being cruel. You are refusing to be used. You are standing up and saying, I will not allow you to dictate my worth. I will not allow you to twist my kindness into something you can exploit. And yes, they will resist. They will push back. They will guilt trip you, accuse you of being selfish, tell you that you have changed, that you are the problem. Because the moment you stop allowing them to take advantage of you, they lose control. And nothing terrifies a narcissist more than losing control over someone they once manipulated. But here's the thing, you are not responsible for their reaction. You are not obligated to prove your kindness by enduring mistreatment. Walking away does not make you a bad person. Saying no does not make you unkind. It makes you someone who values themselves enough to stop feeding the very thing that is draining them. The moment you realize that your kindness does not have to be limitless, that your empathy does not have to be a bottomless well for others to drink from, you take your power back. And that is the most important lesson of all. Kindness, when given without boundaries, does not just hurt you, it enables the very people who are destroying you. And that is not kindness at all. Manipulation often masquerades as innocence, and that is why so many people fall into the trap of a narcissist without even realizing it. They don't come at you with open hostility. Not at first. They don't wear a sign that says, "I am here to control and exploit you." Instead, they present themselves as charming, misunderstood, maybe even wounded. They tell you stories of how others have wronged them, how they've been misunderstood, how they just need someone to see the real them. And you, being the kind and empathetic person that you are, believe them. You want to help them, to show them that not everyone in the world is cruel. But what you don't realize is that this is the setup. This is how they begin to weave their web around you. They make you feel special, like you are the only one who truly understands them. They make you feel like your kindness is a gift they've never had before. And just when you start to trust them, just when you start to invest in them emotionally, they begin to shift. It's subtle at first. Little comments that make you doubt yourself, small criticisms disguised as jokes, moments where they twist the truth just enough to make you question your own memory. And the worst part, when you start to notice these red flags, they will flip the script. If you call them out, they will act offended, hurt, even betrayed. How could you think that about me? I would never do something like that. You're overreacting. And because you are someone who does not want to hurt others, someone who values fairness and understanding, you start to doubt yourself instead of them. Maybe you were being too sensitive. Maybe you misunderstood. Maybe you misunderstood. Maybe they didn't mean it the way it sounded. That is how they keep you trapped. A narcissist's manipulation is not always loud and obvious. It is subtle, insidious, and designed to make you question your own reality. They make you feel like you are the problem so that you never stop to question whether they are the real issue. And as long as you keep doubting yourself, they remain in control. But here's the truth. Real kindness does not require you to ignore your instincts. Real kindness does not mean sacrificing your own peace for the sake of someone else's comfort. When you recognize manipulation, when you see how someone twists reality to keep you under their influence, you have a choice. You can continue to play their game, bending over backward to prove that you are good, that you are loyal, that you are not like the others who hurt them. Or you can walk away. And walking away is not cruelty. Walking away is the only way to reclaim your sanity. You cannot save someone who refuses to change. This is one of the hardest lessons to learn, especially for those who genuinely care about others. When you see a narcissist hurting, when you see them struggle, when you hear them talk about their past wounds, it is natural to want to help. You think that if you just love them enough, if you just stay patient, if you just show them kindness, they will eventually realize the error of their ways. They will see the harm they've caused, they will change, and they will finally treat you the way you deserve to be treated. But that day never comes, because a narcissist does not want to change. They do not look at themselves and see a problem. They look at the world and blame it for everything that goes wrong. If they hurt you, it's because you made them do it. If they lie, it's because they had no other choice. If they betray you, it's because you weren't giving them enough love or attention. They take no accountability, and they never will. So why are you still waiting? Why are you still hoping that one day they will wake up and realize what they have lost? The truth is, they will not change because they do not believe they need to. And every time you give them another chance, every time you convince yourself that they just need more time, you are not helping them. You are enabling them. You are giving them permission to continue treating you the same way they always have. The sooner you accept this, the sooner you can break free. Stop believing that your love is enough to fix them. Stop believing that if you just endure a little more, they will finally appreciate you. They won't. They will take everything you have to give and then ask for more. When you finally have nothing left, they will discard you like you were never important to them at all. So do not waste another moment trying to save someone who refuses to save themselves. Do not keep lighting yourself on fire just to keep them warm. The moment you stop waiting for them to change, the moment you decide to walk away, you take back the power they have stolen from you. You reclaim your dignity, your self-worth, your peace. And that is worth more than any false hope you have been holding on to. Your self-worth is not defined by how much you tolerate. Yet, somewhere along the way, you may have been taught that enduring mistreatment is a sign of strength. That being patient in the face of cruelty is noble. That sticking by someone who disrespects you is an act of loyalty. But this is not strength. This is not love. This is not kindness. This is self-betrayal. And the more you allow someone to cross your boundaries, to diminish your value, to test the limits of your patience, the more you convince yourself that you have to keep proving your worth through suffering. A narcissist thrives on this. They will test you over and over, seeing how much you will accept before you finally break. And if you don't break, if you stay, if you endure, then you are simply teaching them that their behavior has no consequences. That no matter what they say or do, you will always be there absorbing the hurt, making excuses, and convincing yourself that this is just the way they are. But ask yourself this: would you treat someone you love the way they treat you? If the answer is no, then why do you allow them to treat you this way? Why do you believe that proving your love means enduring their cruelty? The answer lies in the way they've conditioned you. A narcissist slowly erodes your confidence, making you feel as though you are only valuable when you are serving them, that your needs, your emotions, your pain, none of it matters as much as theirs. And once they have convinced you of this, they know they can do anything, say anything, and you will still come back, hoping that if you just try harder, they will finally see your worth, but they won't. Because in their eyes, the more you endure, the less valuable you become. They respect strength, not sacrifice. And the strongest thing you can do is stop allowing them to define your worth through your suffering. The strongest thing you can do is refuse to engage in their game any longer. Emotional detachment is not cruelty, it's survival. When you decide to walk away from a narcissist, you are not being cold-hearted or unkind. You are choosing to protect yourself from further harm. And this is one of the hardest things to do because they will do everything in their power to make you feel guilty for leaving. They will act as though you are the villain, as though you are heartless, as though you never truly cared about them. But this is just another manipulation tactic, another way to keep you in their grasp. You do not owe them an explanation. You do not owe them closure. You do not owe them anything. The only person you owe something to is yourself. You owe yourself peace. You owe yourself healing. You owe yourself the freedom to exist without constantly walking on eggshells, without feeling drained, without questioning whether you are enough. Because you are enough. You have always been enough. The problem was never that you didn't give enough love. It was that they never knew how to receive it in a way that wasn't selfish. Let them call you cold. Let them call you selfish. Let them accuse you of not caring. Their words hold no power over you anymore. Because the moment you detach, the moment you refuse to engage in their cycle of manipulation, you win. And there is nothing more terrifying to a narcissist than someone who no longer allows them to dictate their emotions. Respect is earned, not given freely. And the biggest mistake you can make is assuming that if you just respect a narcissist enough, they will finally respect you in return. That if you are kind enough, patient enough, forgiving enough, they will one day wake up and realize that you are worth treating better. But that day will never come. Because respect is not something a narcissist gives freely. It is something they demand without ever earning. They believe they are entitled to your respect simply because they exist, simply because they have convinced you that they deserve it. But true respect is mutual. And suffering. It is not something one person gives while the other takes. It is not something that must be constantly proven, constantly fought for, constantly earned through suffering. So stop respecting those who do not respect you. Stop treating them with kindness while they treat you with indifference. Stop believing that if you just endure a little longer, they will finally see your value. Because the truth is, the longer you tolerate their behavior, the less respect they will have for you. The only way to earn their respect, if it can even be earned, is to stop playing their game, to walk away, to set boundaries and mean it. And if they cannot respect you after that, then they never respected you to begin with. They only respected their ability to control you. And once you take that power away, they will reveal exactly who they are. And that is when you will see clearer than ever that they were never worth your time, your kindness, or your respect in the first place. The power of walking away is something many people underestimate, yet it is one of the greatest acts of self-respect you will ever make. When you finally decide to remove yourself from the grip of a narcissist, you take back the control they tried so hard to strip away from you. And make no mistake, this is exactly why they fear it. A narcissist thrives on your willingness to stay, on your hesitation, on your belief that if you just try a little harder, things will get better. They rely on your doubt, on your hope, on your guilt. Because as long as they have those things, they know you will keep coming back. The moment you walk away, you send a message they cannot ignore. You are no longer an option. You are no longer available for their mind games, their manipulation, their endless cycle of emotional abuse. You no longer exist to serve their ego, to meet their needs while they continue to disregard yours. And this is what terrifies them the most, not losing you, but losing control over you. But walking away is not easy. It is not as simple as cutting ties and never looking back. Because before you reach that point, there is a battle that happens within you, a battle between what you know and what you feel. You know they have hurt you. You know they have taken advantage of you. You know they do not truly care for you in the way you have cared for them, but you still feel connected to them. You still feel responsible. You still hold on to the moments, however brief, where they made you feel special, where they made you believe that they could change. And this is the hardest part, accepting that those moments were never real. Narcissist does not change. They do not suddenly wake up one day and realize that they have mistreated you. They do not have a moment of clarity where they finally understand how deeply they have hurt you. They only have moments of panic that they are losing their source of validation, their source of control, their ability to manipulate you. And so they will try to pull you back in. They will apologize. They will make promises. They will say all the right things. But words are meaningless without action. And if you look back at your history with them, you will see it clearly. How many times have they said these words before? How many times have they made these same promises only to return to the exact same behavior? This is why walking away is so powerful, because it is not just a physical action, but a mental and emotional one as well. It is the moment you decide once and for all that their words no longer have power over you, that you no longer believe in their empty promises, that you refuse to sacrifice your well-being for the sake of maintaining a relationship that only exists to serve them. And yes, they will try to make you feel guilty. They will call you selfish. They will say that you abandoned them, that you never really cared, that you are just like everyone else who gave up on them. Do not fall for this trap. Their goal is not to make you understand their pain. It is to make you doubt your decision. They want you to question yourself, to second guess whether you are doing the right thing, to feel just enough guilt that you come back just one more time. But here is the truth. Walking away is not selfish. It is not cruel. It is not abandonment. It is survival. It is self-respect. It is the decision to no longer allow yourself to be mistreated, disrespected, or devalued. And if that makes you the villain in their story, then so be it. Because in your own story, you are finally becoming the hero. Do not let the fear of their reaction stop you. Do not let the guilt they try to place on you convince you that you are making a mistake. Do not let the false hope of change keep you trapped in a cycle that has already stolen so much of your time, your energy, your peace. There is a life beyond them. A life where you do not have to constantly explain yourself, constantly walk on eggshells, constantly feel like you are not enough. A life where you are free to be yourself, to love yourself, to exist without fear of how someone else will twist your words, your actions, your emotions against you. And the only way to reach that life is to walk away, to finally, truly let them go. Because the moment you do, you take back everything they ever tried to take from you. And that is the greatest power of all. A narcissist does not see relationships as a bond between two people built on mutual respect, love, and understanding. They see relationships as a game, a strategic battle where they must always have the upper hand. They do not value you as an individual with thoughts, feelings, and needs of your own. They value what you can give them, how much control they can exert over you, how much you are willing to sacrifice before you finally break. At first, they present themselves as everything you've ever wanted. They listen, They charm, they make you feel like you are the most important person in the world. This is not love. This is bait. They are reeling you in, testing your boundaries, seeing how much of yourself you are willing to give in order to receive their approval. And once they know that you are hooked, they begin to shift. Slowly, subtly, but undeniably, they start to take more than they give. They start to criticize, to manipulate, to twist your words until you are questioning your own reality. And the most dangerous part, you don't even realize it's happening because they do it so skillfully, so gradually that by the time you notice, you are already deep in their web. You find yourself justifying their behavior, making excuses, convincing yourself that if you just try harder, they will return to the person they were at the beginning. But that person never truly existed. That version of them was a mask designed to draw you in. The longer you stay, the harder it becomes to leave. Not because you don't see the damage they are doing, but because they have made you believe that you are the problem. They have convinced you that you are too sensitive, too demanding, too difficult to love, and the more you accept this, the more control they have. They feed off your self-doubt, using it to keep you in a cycle of emotional dependence. But here is the truth. Love is not supposed to feel like this. Love is not supposed to leave you feeling drained, anxious, and constantly walking on eggshells. A relationship is not supposed to be a battlefield where one person always wins, while the other is left questioning their worth. A healthy relationship is built on mutual respect, open communication, and shared responsibility. And if you are not experiencing that, then what you are dealing with is not love. It is manipulation disguised as love. You cannot win a game that is rigged against you. A narcissist does not want compromise. They do not want fairness. They want to win, and they want to win at your expense. Every time you give them another chance, every time you forgive them without real change, you are handing them another victory. You are showing them that they can hurt you without consequence, that no matter what they do, you will always come back. The only way to break free is to stop playing their game altogether, to walk away and mean it. Set boundaries and refuse to let them manipulate you into lowering them. And this is the hardest part, because they will fight to keep you in their grasp. They will suddenly become the person you fell for again, showering you with affection, making promises, telling you everything you have ever wanted to hear. But it is all a performance, a desperate attempt to pull you back in so they can regain control. And if you fall for it, the cycle will repeat. The moment they feel secure again, they will revert to their true nature. The kindness will fade, the manipulation will return, and you will find yourself back in the same painful position, wondering how you ended up there again. So the question is, how many more chances will you give them? How many more times will you allow them to pull you back into their web, knowing full well what will happen next? At what point do you decide that you deserve more? Because the truth is, you do. You deserve to be loved without conditions, without manipulation, without fear. You deserve a relationship where you are valued for who you are, not for what you can provide to someone who only sees you as a tool for their own gratification. But no one else can make this choice for you. No one else can decide when you have had enough. That is something only you can do. And the moment you decide, truly decide that you are done, that you refuse to be a pawn in their game any longer, you take back the power they have spent so long trying to strip from you. And that is when you win. Not by proving yourself to them, not by waiting for them to change, but by walking away, healing, and never looking back. Because the greatest revenge against a narcissist is not hatred, not anger, not trying to make them see the error of their ways. The greatest revenge is indifference. It is moving on, thriving, and showing them that their control over you is gone forever. A narcissist does not seek love. They seek control. They are not in relationships for connection, but for dominance. Their entire existence is built upon maintaining power over others, ensuring that they are always the center of attention, always in control of the emotional dynamics. And they achieve this through manipulation, deception, and an unrelenting need to make you doubt yourself. The moment you start questioning your own reality, your own worth, your own instincts, they have won. Because as long as you remain confused, as long as you keep seeking their approval, they can continue to manipulate you as they see fit. One of the most dangerous aspects of dealing with a narcissist is the way they distort your perception of yourself. They will lift you up one moment and tear you down the next, keeping you in a state of emotional instability. They will convince you that their love is conditional, that their affection is something you must constantly earn. And so you try harder, you give more. You sacrifice your happiness in hopes that one day they will finally see your worth. But the more you give, the less they respect you. Because to a narcissist, kindness is weakness, and sacrifice is nothing more than a sign that they have complete control over you. It does not matter how much you love them. It does not matter how much you are willing to endure. A narcissist will never appreciate what you do for them because, in their mind, they are entitled to it. They see your kindness as a given, your patience as their right, your forgiveness as an endless resource to exploit. And so they will continue pushing your limits, testing how much you are willing to tolerate before you finally break. But by the time you reach your breaking point, you will have already lost so much of yourself. The most painful part of walking away from a narcissist is realizing that the love you thought you had was never real. That the person you fell for was nothing more than an illusion, a carefully crafted mask designed to draw you in. And once they had you, once they knew you were invested, they no longer needed to pretend. They could drop the act, reveal their true nature, and expect you to stay regardless. Because by then, they had already convinced you that leaving was not an option. But it is an option. It has always been an option. The only reason you feel trapped is because they have conditioned you to believe that you need them, that without them you will be lost, alone, incapable of finding happiness elsewhere. But this is a lie, a manipulation designed to keep you from seeing the truth, that you are stronger without them, freer without them, better without them. Leaving a narcissist is not just about walking away physically, it is about breaking free mentally and emotionally. It is about undoing the damage they have caused, reclaiming your identity, and learning to trust yourself again. Because that is the biggest wound they leave behind, the doubt, the constant second guessing, the fear that maybe you were the problem, that maybe if you had just done things differently, they would have treated you better. But you were never the problem. The problem was their inability to love, their refusal to respect, their need to control at any cost. And the moment you realize this, the moment you truly understand that their treatment of you was never about you, but about their own insecurities, you take away their power. You stop seeking their validation. You stop caring about their opinions. You stop allowing them to dictate how you see yourself, and that is when you win. Not by proving them wrong, not by making them see what they lost, but by moving on with your life without them. A narcissist cannot stand to be ignored. They cannot stand to be irrelevant. The moment you detach, the moment you refuse to engage, they will panic. They will try to pull you back in with guilt, with promises, with declarations of love. But do not fall for it, because the moment you give in, the cycle will repeat. The moment they feel secure again, they will go right back to their old ways, and you will find yourself trapped once more. Do not wait for closure. Do not wait for an apology. Do not wait for them to finally understand what they did to you. They will never give you the validation you seek, because that would mean admitting fault, and a narcissist will never do that. The only closure you need is the decision to walk away and never look back, to choose yourself over someone who never truly valued you. To finally see that the greatest act of self-love is refusing to allow someone to keep hurting you. You do not need their love. You do not need their approval. You do not need to keep proving your worth to someone who will never recognize it. You are enough as you are, and the moment you stop seeking validation from someone incapable of giving it, you set yourself free. And that is the ultimate victory. Not revenge, not proving a point, but peace. A peace they will never have, but one that you deserve. A narcissist's greatest weapon is your willingness to endure. They do not gain power through force, they gain power through your compliance. Every time you excuse their behavior, every time you give them another chance, every time you let them manipulate you into believing that they will change, you reinforce their control over you. They do not see your patience as kindness. They see it as permission, a signal that they can continue treating you however they please because you will always be there to forgive, to rationalize, to try again. This is how they keep you trapped, not with physical chains, but with emotional ones. They create a cycle of hope and despair, where moments of affection and validation are followed by cruelty and neglect. And every time they hurt you, they make sure to throw you just enough kindness to keep you hooked. Because that is the key to their manipulation, making you believe that change is possible, that if you just try a little harder, love them a little more, tolerate a little longer, things will improve, but they won't. The cycle is not a mistake. It is the foundation of their control. The hardest truth to accept is that a narcissist does not care about you in the way you care about them. They are not concerned with your happiness, your well-being, or your needs. They are only concerned with what you can provide, whether it is attention, admiration, or the satisfaction of knowing they have control over you. They do not form real attachments. They do not love in the way that you do. Their affection is conditional, transactional, a tool they use to keep you within their grasp. And the moment you stop serving their needs, they will discard you without hesitation. But even then, they will not let you go completely. Because as long as you remain emotionally invested, they still have control. As long as you still seek closure, still wonder if they ever truly cared, still hold on to the belief that they might one day change, you are still playing their game. And they know this. That is why even after they have hurt you beyond measure, they will still try to keep a door open. They will check in, they will make small gestures, they will do just enough to make you question your decision to leave. Because if they can get you to doubt yourself, if they can convince you to give them just one more chance, they win. So how do you break free? How do you escape a cycle that has convinced you that walking away is impossible? By understanding that it is not impossible. That the only reason you feel trapped is because they have made you believe that you are. They have conditioned you to think that leaving is too painful, that being without them is worse than being mistreated by them. But that is a lie. A carefully crafted illusion designed to keep you from seeing the truth, that you will be stronger, happier, and freer once you walk away. The first step is accepting that you will never get what you want from them. You will never get closure. You will never get the apology you deserve. You will never get the love you have been desperately trying to earn. And once you accept this, you take away their greatest weapon, your hope, because hope is what keeps you tied to them. Hope is what convinces you to stay, to keep fighting for a relationship that has already destroyed you. But the moment you let go of that hope, the moment you stop believing that they will ever be different, you set yourself. And when you finally walk away, when you truly decide that you are done, they will panic. They will try every trick they have to pull you back. They will apologize. They will make grand gestures. They will say all the things you have waited so long to hear. But do not be fooled. They are not sorry for how they treated you. They are sorry that they lost control. They are not afraid of losing you. They are afraid of losing their ability to manipulate you. And the moment they feel secure again, the moment they know you have fallen for their act, they will go right back to their old ways. The only way to win is to refuse to play, to walk away and never look back, to stop justifying their behavior, stop making excuses, stop allowing yourself to believe that they will ever be different. Because they won't. And you deserve better. You deserve peace. You deserve love that is real, that is kind, that does not require you to sacrifice your self-worth. You deserve a life where you do not have to question your own reality, where you do not have to beg for the bare minimum, where you are not constantly made to feel like you are not enough. And the only way to have that life is to choose yourself. So walk away. Let go. And understand that by leaving, you are not losing them. You are regaining yourself, and that is the most powerful thing you will ever do.